Hey, y'all. Here I am on a random live. You guys know how I do. I say it and I'm gonna stop saying that I am going to try to come on for y'all and have a designated time. But I do want to try to come on as often as possible. But I'm gonna make this quick. You know, I like to be on here no more than 10, 15 minutes to give you what's on my heart and to help you if you are here in the comments, hashtag tapped in. We don't do hashtag replay here. We do hashtag tapped in here. So go ahead and hashtag tapped in. And I want to talk to you guys about how I had to put my pride aside and why that's important in this day and time for the things that I'm doing. There was a season in my life where, if you know me, I'm online a lot and people see me, but I am actually a very private person. I don't like people in my business. I don't want to be in your business. I don't want you in mine. That's how I look at it, right? Um, and so I carried that sentiment all the way over into business and work. Hey, Robin, I carried that all the way over into work. It was like, I don't want anybody in my business. It was so bad that I didn't even want to hire anybody to help me because I didn't want anybody in my business. And it wasn't that it was bad. I was just like that, right? And so as I started growing and as the brand started growing, I knew I needed help. So I began to um, enlist help. So I began to hire a team and began to do that. But here's the thing, when I first started business, I wasn't savvy. And so in the beginning, I messed up a lot financially. I didn't do a lot of things right financially. I didn't have a strong financial backing. I didn't have someone to support me. Now, I had people to support me to teach me how to execute my craft and become great at what I do, but the back end side. So it got to a point where honestly, the back end financially, credit wise, all of that was embarrassing. And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anybody in my business. Okay. And so one day I looked, I said, I need to correct this, but I don't know how. I started Googling, I was reading, and I mean, I was doing okay, but I knew that there was more that I probably didn't know that an expert, I needed to bring in an expert. So I had to put my pride aside in business. And what I find, especially in our industry, when I was doing hair, in the industry of coaching and consulting, a lot of people are afraid to really tell people what's really going on behind those flyers. And that's the thing that I want to attack today. What's really going on behind the flyer? What I realized is there was a mess behind my flyer. And I had to enlist the help that needed to correct that mess. And I found someone who was so amazing, who made me feel safe, who made me not feel crazy. She was like, listen, you're actually really good at what you do. And there's just some things we need to correct on this back end to get you straight, and you'll be good. And she opened up a safe space for me to heal that part of my business. Okay. So a part of my business was hurting. And so after working with her and doing all the things that I did for myself in regards to financial stewardship, all of those things, I was like, I want to open up and I want to have a safe space for entrepreneurs to do the same. So remember, I told you guys, of course, I'm a publicist and I'm in marketing, but here's what happens. Most entrepreneurs come to me and they really can't afford the cost to do what needs to be done when it comes to marketing and public relations. And it's not that they are not good. It's not that they don't have great brands. It's just the affordability at that time just is not there. Right. And so then I said, okay, well, let's look at funding. Let's look at getting some opportunities for funding to help your business grow. Well, we then found out that most people didn't have the substantial enough credit to do what needed to be done. Most people didn't have their books together in a way that funding could be secured for them. And so then I realized the part of our brand, the funding part that I wanted to execute and implement within 3 or 4 years from now, it was something that I had to implement now. Why? Because there are so many of us that our flyers are great. We are out here doing the things that need to be done, but in the back end behind that flyer, sometimes there's a mess there. And I wanted people to have a safe space to go to clean up the mess. I don't care. This is what the lady that helped me, she said, I don't care where you at. I care about where you're going. We're going to fix where you're at so that you can get to where you're going. And I wanted to relay that as well. I said, oh my God, that's something that I would say. I really don't I don't care how you got to where you are. You're there. We will address that. We will work on healing that and making sure that you don't go back there. But we want to know where you are so that you can get to where you're going as it relates to your funding and funding preparation and building business credit. Those are the things. So that's why I have been pushing very hard the credit, the taxes. I find so many entrepreneurs who I've talked to, especially who don't have a W-2 job, that are like, listen, I ain't filed taxes in like 3-4 years. Or like, I kind of did it. I don't know if I did it right. And they're afraid to go back. They're afraid to say, hey, I haven't. Let me be very clear. My assistant will tell you that most people think I care more than I do. Like, I care about your well-being. I care about where you're going. But as far as how you got there and what it looks like, if it's a mess, if it's not a mess, I don't really care. My goal is to really help you get to where you want to go next. Like, I want to see people be who God has called them to be. I want to see your businesses flourish and be what God has established it to be. And so whatever we need to do to look into getting you there, that's what I care about. I mean, this I was telling somebody today in a conversation, I don't need the sob story. Like, not even the sob story, but I don't unless you want to share it with me. It's not relevant for me. I want to know where you are, what that looks like, where you're trying to go. And what are we going to do to ensure that once you get to where you're trying to go, that we don't get back to where you are? And so that's why it's important. I want entrepreneurs to have a safe space to come to heal when it comes to their brand authority, when it comes to building their marketing strategies, when it comes to funding, when it comes to credit, when it comes to taxes. These are things that we have to be serious about, especially in the date and time that we are in. We are in a date and time where, one, I will tell you that if you are a business, if you are an entrepreneur, they are trying to put laws and things in place that favor the wealthy, right? We can see that. Now, if they are putting laws and things together to favor the wealthy, what should you become? The wealthy. And how do you do that? By looking at where you are right now. If they are favoring, and I've been saying this, I said I was going to put it on the shirt. So don't nobody take it, y'all. If they are favoring the wealthy, become the wealthy. And what does that look like? I've even had to look at my information. I had to re-look at my strategy. I had to re-look at my financial standing. I've had to re-look at where I am. And some of the things I have to go back to zero and start back over, which is fine. We cannot be prideful in this season about where we are. We need to do what needs to be done to correct and get ourselves on the right path. So whatever that looks like, that's why it's important to me to have this space where I had an amazing conversation today with an entrepreneur, and we got down to the nitty gritty, helped with bookkeeping, like how to do the books. I am not a bookkeeper and I'm not an accountant. So I shared the programs that I use and then referred to an accountant to help them, really get that side. But at least they have the first part of the information. And then we started talking about their tax situation and how to begin to work on that. And from that, they know that they need help with their credit. And I'm excited that because they'll be filing with us, that we are able to work on their credit complimentary for them, right? So I'm excited because with what we do, if you file with us, you get the credit for free. We start working your credit for free for you outside of some other obligations that we have. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be in a space and have the opportunity to help. Another thing that God told me to do was provide opportunities. And most of the things that I do, I am giving knowledge, right? Do this, do that, do that, do this, do that. And then people are like, I would love to do all that, but I ain't got the money for that. I don't have ad space money. I don't have money to do this. I don't have money to do that, right? So I've also worked on one of the things that I've done is in most of the things that I do, incorporated some type of affiliate program to allow people to make money um, for whatever is needed. I think that we should be finding ways to financially support each other. Why not get paid for referring somebody? Why not get paid for sharing, right? And so all the things from our taxes to our billboards to our membership group, we have created referral programs so that you can get a kickback on everything that um, the people that you refer in those different programs. And I'll be posting and sharing more of that. But my goal right now, honestly, is to help people heal and become visible. I want you to heal and be visible. I want you to heal and I want you to be visible. So if you, here's the thing, the caveat to that is, what if you are visible and it launches and you go and you get the visibility that you want, but there is so much that you got to clean up that you're not able to enjoy the fruits of your labor and the response to the fruits of your labor, because you got to go back and do back taxes with it. You got to go back and clean up your credit with it. You got to go back and pay down debt with it. You got to go back and do all those things. Well, if you start working on that now, when the flood comes and the overflow comes, you'll be ready and be able to receive it and be able to utilize it. And I'm saying that because there was several years where I would get a nice little lump sum and I probably bought myself a couple things, maybe went on a little trip, but most of it had to go to me healing something, right? And so I really want us to position ourselves better. I want to think of ourselves as we are, not as we were, as we are, and as where we're going, right? I want us to begin to operate in that. I want us to be able to move in where we're going and walk in where we're going, in the financial status of where we're going, right? In the health, I have been sick on and off, right? So I had to go to the doctor and really try to figure out, all right, what's going on with that? Because that is not aligning with where I'm going. And so I want you to begin to think and look at the things that are going on in your life and in your business and see if it is in alignment. We make so many plans, especially it's the beginning of the year, and you have made all of your plans for the year and what you're going to do first quarter and all of that. And we have our financial goals and we look at it from the futuristic, but we never want to look back. We got to be real about where we are. And that's important to me. I have really, it's been amazing to have these conversations over the last couple of days and have this safe space for entrepreneurs to say, Keandra, listen, we jacked that up. I messed it up. I didn't handle my taxes properly. Now let me tell you something. And sometimes let's be real clear. You are dealing with financial issues that you had before you even had a business. You were 20 years old. You were 20 years old, right? In your 20s and messed up your credit, right? And now here you are in your 30s or 40s trying to clean it up because you're just now getting to that space. But that was in your 20s when you didn't have any resources and didn't know. But that's where you are now. It's fine. It don't matter how you got there. Let's figure out how to get to that next step. Let's figure out how to clean it up. Let's figure out how to get you to the scores that you want, to be able to get the resources that you need to be able to serve the people that you are called to serve, right? We always say, I'm the head not to tell, I'm above and not believe. I'm going to be the lender and never to borrow. And we are borrowers, okay? We're sitting up here borrowing. But we are repeating, I'm the lender and not the borrower, but we are borrowing. When we should be, you can borrow still. We should be borrowing other people's money. I talked about that, OPP. But we should also be able to lend freely, right? And be in position to do that. So I'm excited just about where we are and where we're going. But I wanted to just come on and just share my heart with you guys. Because listen, you can be where you are. You can start from where you are. It doesn't matter. Okay, you might didn't. You might not have done it right. Okay, you might have messed that up. That's fine. Let's look at where you are and where you need to go. Let's get you to a place of healing. Now, let me be very clear. In that space, there's work that you have to do. A lot of it is we don't want to do the back end work. We want to do the front end work. We want to have the events. We want to go on TV. We want to, post. We want to run the ads. We want to do all these things in the minimal side, but we don't want to clean up the part that needs to be cleaned up. We do like this. We sweep it under the rug. And listen, I was there too. Sweep it. I swept it, okay? Until I couldn't sweep no more, until it was a mound, okay? I had the I had the rug and there was a mound under the rug. The rug was like this, okay? And people like trying to jump over the rug in the house. Listen, it's time for us to clean it up. It's time for us to be like, hey, it's where I'm at. This is it is what it is. Help me fix it. Okay. How you gonna help me? Because that's literally what I said to the lady. I was like, back in the day, I was like, listen, how you gonna help me? This is where I'm at. How you gonna help me? Help me. And that's what I want it to be. Now it's in my heart. Like, I want you to be visible. I want to help you with your marketing. I want to help you with your public relations, but I also want to help you get straight. I am not, let me be very clear. I am not an accountant. I don't do that. I will refer you, but I can at least analyze where you are, help you get a strategy together, and then refer you out to the products, services, people that can help you. And then if it's something that we can do internally, we will help you in that space. But I have all the way down to, I had a call last night with someone that is very near and dear to my heart, who is a realtor, who is absolutely amazing, who's connected and has, a team of people to help as it relates to first-time home buyers. Their niche is first-time home buyers, and I have a lot of people that are like, hey, I want to buy a home, and they are either a first-time home buyer or they had a home but haven't had a home in 3 years or more. Then you can still apply as a first-time home buyer. And so I had a conversation. They had a webinar last night, and I was like, oh, found the team that I'm referring people to. After we help build their credit, then I want to refer them over to them to really help them get all of the resources that are available to them as a first-time home buyer, right? Then I had a conversation with someone who's a realtor for a business realtor. She does corporate properties. I was like, okay, bet. Started talking to her as a resource to, once we get you to a certain level, then hey, you want a brick and mortar, go see them, right? We want to be a referral. I want to help you heal. And I don't want you to feel prideful, and I don't want you to feel shamed about where you are, but I want you to feel empowered that it can change, that you can grow, that you can heal it, and you can overcome it. And that's what's important to me. It's not about how you got there. And we may talk about that to help heal it. And if you don't want to tell me how you got there, we just analyze where you at and where you going, we can do that too. But what I found is that most of it occurred when you was in your 20s, when you ain't know no better anyway. And maybe you let it linger in your 30s because you was kicking it, doing whatever. Did that. I didn't really start working on myself to the late 30s. And remember, I've already shared with you guys that I had my first house. I decided to be my mom's full-time caregiver. I was a hairstylist, and I had to close my salons to take care of my mother. I only had almost 3 years of savings, right? I had 3 years of savings that could help me along the way. And I'm thinking, oh, in 3 years, mom should be good. We should be able to be back up. No, I am still her full-time caregiver. So after 3 years, that money ran out and dried out. I lost my house. I lost 2 cars, and I had to start over. But let me tell you the grace of God. Let me give y'all a little testimony, okay? I lost my house, okay? I'm crying. I'm like, oh God, I am a failure. And I mean, it wasn't even a big house, and I ain't even had to pay a lot for it. But at the time, I stopped working at the salon. I was at home, and I worked in the industry where if you wasn't there moving your hands and working, you ain't get paid. It was what it was. I only had 3 years of savings. God moved me from that 4-bedroom house, small, what do they call it? Country style, where there's no steps, to a 5-bedroom on the water. Behind us was my house, I think I had was $185,000. I moved into almost a $300,000 home. out of ruins. I moved out of a house. Y'all didn't hear me. I moved out of a house that I lost into a bigger home, into a brighter home, a better home. So don't tell me that it can't happen. So while I am going through the loss of my home, I'm still trying to work on myself and my credit and my stuff in my life to get myself into an approval to be able to get another home. And it was a better home than what I got. I lost. You can't tell me that God won't give you better. You can't tell me that if you don't do what you're supposed to do and honor where you are. I was like, look, I tried to do it, messed it up. I didn't have the opportunity. I had to take care of my mom. So for me, it was a mess up. Everybody's like, you had to do what you had to do. But for me, I worked hard to get my first house. I worked hard to get my first house in my 20s. But I understood that I was called to now take care of my mother, which meant I couldn't go to work, which meant that I couldn't go to the salon, which meant that I didn't have clients, which meant that I didn't have money. Now I was smart enough to save a lot of money to at least be able to run for 3 years. It was like 2.5, almost 3 years. But after that, it dried up. And there was nothing else. I couldn't work. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't even find, it was hard for me to get a job. Y'all, I couldn't even get a work from home job. It was hard. But I survived and I made it. And I want you to understand, I don't care as an entrepreneur where you are, there is greater on the other side. There's the ability to succeed on the other side. What you have to do, like I did, I had to lay down my pride. I had to say, this it's in ruins, it's messed up. I messed it up. This is where I am. I need help. And I wanted to now provide a safe space for people to do the same. I don't care. I don't care where you're at. I don't even care what it looked like. I just want to help you get to that next, whether it's us personally helping you here or it is handling a referral for you. So listen, y'all can always, when it comes to credit, funding, and taxes, go to my website. You can go to the kwicollective.com under the funding tab and schedule a complimentary call. Let's see where you at. Let's see how we can help you or refer you to someone who can. But at the end of the day, if they are looking to support and help the wealthy, we have to position ourselves. And we can't look at where we've been. We have to look at where we are and where we're going. All right, guys. So I hope this has helped you. It was laid on my heart, and I said I have to come on, and I'm gonna start coming on more. But listen, it's time to put our pride aside. I don't care what it looks like, y'all. I really don't. What I care about is where you want it to go, where you want to go, and what you want to do. And if you are willing to be a willing participant in changing it. If you ain't ready to do some work, if you ain't ready to put in the work to do it, don't call me. Y'all know how I am. If you've worked with me, you know how I am. Okay? If you're not ready to listen to the steps of either myself or the support that we have for you, don't call me. If you already know it all, handle that. Don't call us, because we want to be a support and we want to be a help. But we don't want to fight you to help you. I guess that's the easier way to say it. I don't want to fight you to help you. I just want to be able to help. Now you can take the information, do it or not, but I don't want to fight you. Okay? So listen, guys, it is time. This is a season. Oh my God, it is a season of favor and grace. There is some grace on us right now. There is favor resting on us right now. We got to be real with ourselves, do what needs to be done, make the calls. Listen, and I mean, honestly, I want you to, of course, call me because I want to help. But if you don't call me, call somebody. I want you to get the help that you need. All right, guys? Hope this has helped. Remember, you always have the opportunity to set the tone for your day, life, and year. I want y'all to make it a great one. And I'll talk to y'all next time.